Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS. Let's get to the news. Now folks, let's dive into what's really happening here because it's not just about some trade rumors or a player moving teams. This is about a franchise that's been in a bit of a roller coaster the last few years. And it's about the choices made in the front office that could very well shape the future of the Cleveland Browns. We've seen a lot of talk about Myles Garrett, this incredible edge rusher who's been the heart and soul of Cleveland's defense for quite some time now. And honestly, there's been this ongoing debate among fans and analysts. Should the Browns have traded Myles Garrett? Was it time, or was it a mistake to hold on to him? Well, let's not forget what's been happening around the league, especially in the NFC North, where the Packers just made a move that's turning heads across the NFL. Just recently, the Green Bay Packers traded for Micah Parsons, one of the most electric defensive players in the league right now. And if you think that's just a minor move, think again. Parsons, who is a 4-time Pro Bowler and 2-time All-Pro, has been absolutely dominant since entering the league. When the Packers acquired him, they didn't just get a player, they got a game changer. In just 2 weeks, Parsons has already made a huge impact, ranking among the league's top in yards allowed per play, scoring defense, and EPA per play. And what's more impressive is how Parsons has been able to translate his talent into sacks. 2 so far, and that's just the beginning. Meanwhile, the Dallas Cowboys, the team Parsons was traded from, are struggling to find that same spark. They rank 27th or lower in the same key categories: yards per play, points allowed, EPA. It's a stark contrast. The optics are clear. While Parsons is wreaking havoc in Green Bay, Dallas is looking for answers. And this isn't just a coincidence. It's a clear example of how a player like Parsons can shift the balance of power in the NFL. And it's exactly what the Browns front office, led by Andrew Berry, has been watching closely. Because you see, the Browns, like many teams, have had their share of debates about their own star pass rusher, Myles Garrett. Now let's talk about Garrett because this is where it gets really interesting. Last spring, Garrett made it public. He was open to a trade, he wanted out of Cleveland. And honestly, many fans felt torn. On one hand, Garrett has been a phenomenal player, an absolute force on the field. On the other hand, the Browns haven't been able to build a consistent winning team around him, especially after the tumultuous last few seasons. The trade request was no secret, and it sparked a fierce debate. Should Cleveland consider trading him? Some argued that at nearly 30 years old, Garrett didn't fit the rebuild timeline with the team's current trajectory. Others believed that trading away such a dominant player would be a mistake, especially given the state of the roster and the lack of draft capital after years of missing out on first-round picks. But here's the thing. Sometimes, in the NFL, the decision to hold or trade a star is about the bigger picture. And Cleveland's front office has shown some strategic patience, especially with the recent decision to keep Garrett this offseason. It's a move that's been widely appreciated by Browns fans because, let's be honest, who else on the roster can generate pressure like Garrett? Nobody. He's a game wrecker, a player capable of changing the course of a game with a single play. And while the team has struggled to find consistency, Garrett's presence on the line is a constant reminder that Cleveland still has one of the league's most talented pass rushers. Now, comparing this to what happened with Micah Parsons and the Packers, it's clear that teams are willing to pay a premium for these kinds of players. Parsons was considered a franchise cornerstone, and the Packers saw that value more than anyone. They traded 2 first-round picks and a key defensive tackle, Kenny Clark, to get him. And look at what Parsons is doing. His impact is immediate, and he's making the Packers look like a defensive powerhouse this season. The reality is that Cleveland could have faced a similar situation with Garrett. But instead of trading him, they chose to keep him, betting on his talent and leadership to help turn the tide. And let's not forget, the Browns are in a bit of a unique position. They've been through a lot in recent years, an underwhelming quarterback situation, injuries, and a roster that's still trying to find its identity. But there's hope. Deshaun Watson, who's been the franchise's big investment, is starting to show signs of returning to form, and the team has been making some strategic moves to bolster their defense, including keeping Garrett and giving him that opportunity to be the centerpiece of their pass rush. Here's what's truly fascinating, though. The debate about Garrett and the trade talks echoes the larger narrative of the NFL. Teams are constantly weighing short-term gains against long-term potential. In Cleveland's case, they've chosen the latter, sticking with Garrett as a key part of their rebuilding process. And that decision might pay off, especially if Watson can rediscover his form and the defense continues to improve around Garrett. Now, on the other side of the league, the Cowboys are experiencing what happens when a star like Parsons isn't enough to carry the entire defense. Their struggles highlight how critical edge rushers are in today's NFL. It's a league where the game is won up front, and having a player like Parsons or Garrett can be the difference between winning a division and falling behind. Parsons' success in Green Bay is a clear example of how a smart trade and a talented player can shake up the division. And Cleveland, of course, wants to be part of that conversation, not left behind. And let's think about what this means for the Browns. The team's recent history has been marked by high expectations, but also a lot of setbacks. The trade rumors about Garrett reflected a desire to possibly rebuild or retool if the right offer came along. But keeping him now sends a strong message that Cleveland is serious about contending, at least on the defensive side. His presence on the field is a rallying point, and the fact that he's still in Cleveland means the team can focus on building around him, especially as they look to develop their young core and get consistent performances from their quarterback, Deshaun Watson. The Browns also have to consider the bigger picture: draft strategy, salary cap implications, and evolving team needs. The NFL is a league of constant change, and player movement is part of that game. But Cleveland's front office has shown patience, and that might be the right call. Sometimes, the best move is to hold onto your stars and build around them, especially when you're in a position where a few key pieces can turn everything around. Garrett's leadership, combined with Watson's potential resurgence, could be the recipe for a playoff push. And given how competitive the AFC North is right now, with teams like Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh all vying for dominance, every advantage counts. What's also interesting is how the league is evolving. Defensive stars like Parsons and Garrett are more than just players, they're franchise icons. They set the tone for their teams, and their presence can influence everything from draft picks to free agency. The Packers, by acquiring Parsons, made a statement. They're all in on building a top-tier defense that can carry them deep into the playoffs. And Cleveland, by holding onto Garrett, is sending a similar message that they believe in their star and are committed to competing at the highest level. This ongoing saga of Garrett versus trade, Parsons versus the league, and the Browns, strategic patience encapsulates everything we love about football: the drama, the decisions, the battles on the field, and the hope for a brighter future. It's a reminder that in the NFL, one move can reshape a division and alter the course of a franchise for years to come. Cleveland fans, you should be excited because the team's front office clearly recognizes the value of Garrett, and that gives us hope that this organization is playing the long game. We're not just looking at today's game, we're looking at the future, and there's a lot to be optimistic about if you're a Browns supporter. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on all this? Do you believe keeping Garrett was the right move, or do you think the team should have explored a trade? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the future of the Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more analysis, and the latest Cleveland Browns news. Stay with us, stay passionate, and let's keep supporting this team through thick and thin. Because in Cleveland, we don't just watch football, we live it, breathe it, and believe in what's next.